Welcome back to Legit Street Cars and welcome to the Legit Street Quarters. The shop is definitely coming together and I now have not one, but two bend pack lifts and a very broken Lexus. So I'll do another big garage update once I have a little bit more done, but these are 10,000 pound bend pack lifts. They do have the lower profile arms so I can lift lower vehicles, and we angled them so we're able to fit a couple of cars in here without blocking up the aisle. As you can see, there's plenty of room to drive by, and more importantly, there's plenty of room for me to walk by, work on the engine, do what I gotta do. I just built my new Sonic cart. I have all of my Sonic tools ready to rock, and this is my first time working in the shop on the new lifts with my new tools, and it's ironically on a Lexus, a Toyota. These things are not supposed to break, and if you guys haven't seen the first video, I'll link it down below, but you're about to find out that this car is very broken, many electrical gremlins, and we gotta fix them all because I'm giving this car away and I don't wanna give away a bad car. All right, so here's the current state of affairs with the Lexus. It's generally just kind of freaking out about life and it won't start. Now, even though it's got a new battery, in order to start, it needs help from another battery and these two pins to be jumped on the connector for the stop lamp switch, which is located right there. So I suspected this was faulty when I came out, and it kept on giving me a message that we needed to depress the brake pedal in order to start the engine, which I was definitely doing. And we didn't have any brake lights, so I suspected this was faulty. I jumped these two pins, and now the Lexus is a little bit happier about life. And it starts up, 114,000 miles, but that's about the only positive thing about this cluster. It has basically every single light on. We have no power steering, we have no radio, no climate control. The windows don't work, the sunroof doesn't work, the seats don't work. Basically nothing in the car works except the engine runs. We can't even shift it out of gear. We have to use the shift interlock, and then it bangs into gear because it's in limp home mode. Luckily, if I just stick a pen in here, oh, I can get it to go. And it is brutal, so we'll pull this in to our rack here, and we're gonna get to work. You guys were here first. First time pulling a car into the rack on video. No power steering, one hand holding the camera. Okay, I think that's good. Now, I'm sure the IS250 requires a fair amount of mechanical work, like cleaning up or replacing the rusted brake rotors, but like any mystery car on this channel, we're gonna start at the top and work our way down. And by far the biggest issue with the Lexus right now would be the electrical gremlins. And like you've seen me do with so many projects, we are going to reward the Lexus based on good behavior, meaning that if we can fix these electrical gremlins without a lot of fuss and without a lot of money, we will reward the Lexus with parts that you may not replace on an older cheap car like hood struts. And as a sign of good faith, I'm gonna kick this off by vacuuming out the cowl. All right, this definitely used to be a home for a family of mice. This is quite disgusting. All right, Lexus, this is how it works. I'm good to you, you're good to me, everybody goes home happy, all right? See that? There's a lot more if you just play ball, Lexus. You know what to do. Just be a Toyota, all right? You don't want to give them too much up front, but this is much better than before. And if we're able to fix this stuff up for cheap, I might even throw in some new wipers. All right, people, let's get to work. So the Lexus seems to have like 10 separate issues. So the general public would look at things, for example, like the gear shifter not moving and the power windows not working as two separate issues. And then this car has about 8 different warning lights on the cluster. The climate control doesn't work. There are many things that are unrelated that don't work. And I don't think this is a coincidence. I don't think we have 10 separate issues with the Lexus. I think they are all related. And I think it could be one or two things or both. It could be that rodents have chewed through a major wiring harness, this is just laying there, or a ground, or we have a blown maxi fuse, which is a gigantic fuse, or a fusible link. So a fusible link is a big, huge fuse that isn't really replaceable separately. It's kind of expensive. And if you jump start a car improperly, these can blow. And knowing the history of the Lexus over the last year, the previous owner said he tried to sell it, and a lot of people came out with their mechanics and with their jumper packs and tried to get it started, and they couldn't. What are the chances they simply didn't jump the car properly and they blew one of these fuses? I'm not gonna bore you guys with this, but basically I'm just gonna go around with my light and just physically look at any and all wires. So there is a ground there. It looks to be intact, and I'm gonna go over all of the fuses as well. This looks like some of the harness that may lead down to the alternator, and we did have a little bit of a nest right in here. You can see some remnants. So there were mice everywhere. We still have quite a bit of poop down there as well. So yeah, could be chewed wires anywhere. Here is another ground. Let's see, and that one's good too. So anyway, I'm gonna keep on looking, and we're gonna search also for any major fuses or fusible links and see if they're blown as well. Okay, it's like 2 minutes later, and I think I found it. I think I found our smoking gun. So if you look here, this little guy, this little clear cover, and if we clean it off, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll take the cover off here in a minute, but I think that's a brake. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, there might be a brake right there, and this just looks like a gigantic fusible link. That's what this is. See all of those connections right there? So let's get this cover off. This is definitely an issue. Oh, this is great. This is great. Look at it. Look at right there. There is an open there, and it's not supposed to be that way. And hang on, this might be dumb, but let's, okay. We're making the connection, it's not doing anything. We could test this by just simply making this connection and seeing if anything works. I don't wanna get too excited, but I think the Lexus is playing ball, at least with the diagnosis. So if the fusible link fixes pretty much everything, we're definitely gonna give this car a reward. But first, I'm gonna give myself a reward. And that is, of course, my daily dose of keeps, because 2 out of 3 men by the age of 35 will experience some form of male pattern baldness, and I'm 36, and I'm definitely one of those guys. So this is Keeps, and Keeps is a subscription service that makes treating male pattern baldness easy and affordable by keeping everything online. So you consult with a real doctor from the comfort of your own home, come up with a plan, and everything is shipped discreetly right to your house. And this is a 3-month supply, and it's as easy as just a few drops on your head. So if you guys are ready to tackle hair loss head on, then head over to keeps.com/legit, or just simply click on my link in the video description box. When you do, you're gonna get 50% off your first order. So this is FDA approved medication. You consult with a real doctor. It's shipped right to your house. It's very, very easy to do. You got nothing to lose but more hair if you don't do it. So check out the link down below, and a big thanks to Keeps for continuing to support automotive content creators like myself. Now, let me give you a little bit of a warning. Warning, I am a trained YouTube professional, and what you're about to see is being done by me on my own car, in my own garage, and I don't recommend any of you guys try this at home. We're gonna put a fuse in between the 2 break points. We blew it instantly. 30 ampere blown right away. Okay, this probably carries a lot more current than 30 amps. No, don't die, don't die, don't die. Okay, so it blew my 30 amp fuse, no big deal, but it idled down, and I thought it was gonna die out like before, but check this out. Check this out. We have power steering now. Power steering, oh, wait a minute. We have climate control as well. And I don't think the clock lit up before. That is awesome. Wait a minute, let's see. Oh, we have windows. Wow, it's still broken. Like, the link is still broken. It blew my 30 ampere almost immediately, which it should have. And yeah, this thing has come to life. Hang on, can we shift out? Let's see. Oh, and it doesn't even bang into gear. No way, everything works. Ooh, we have a radio too. Everything works, everything works, everything works. We just need a big fusible link, that's it. Or we could rig something up, but they might not be that expensive. Okay, so we still have every warning light on pretty much, but let's shut this off. And now let's just start it up again. Let's see if we got anything back. Nope. Can't shift. Nothing. Dead. And Windows dead as well. And we have no power steering. All right, so jumping that broken connection even for literally like a second before that 30 ampere blew was enough to wake up most of the Lexus. It's 2 days later. I'm $95 lighter, but I have a brand spanking new fusible link. So I bought this online, 95 bucks. They say it's a Toyota part. I don't really see that anywhere, but I don't really care. I think this is gonna work out well. It had some pretty good reviews. So it looks like we have some disassembly to do because some connectors plug in from the bottom, it seems. So we have to remove some 10s. We got a 10 here, a 10 here, one here, and the most important, we got to disconnect this now charged battery. All right, we got 10s all over the place. We are now safe. Okay. Get the main power lug off. All right, there we go. There's that. Goodbye for now. All right, I skipped a lot of swearing. There was a lot of swearing, I'm not gonna lie. This was a complete pain in the butt. To get access to this, you basically have to take this bottom cover off through the bottom. So out went the battery, and now we can get to some 10 millimeters on the back of this module that will hopefully allow me to remove it. And I think we gotta start off with this guy. Now this guy should, there you go, in theory come out. Awesome. All right, that might have broken. Oh no, we're good, we're good. Okay. All right, here it is, here it is. There is a lot of stuff going on. Let me show you. Okay, so I highly recommend you don't improperly jumpstart your car. Red to red, black to black, negative to negative, positive to positive, because not only will you be out $95, but this is a pain in the butt. So we have all these connectors on the bottom, and we have about 5 nuts or bolts, maybe more, to remove, and we got to remember where all these wires go. But we're past the hard part now, which is getting this guy out of the way and this guy out of the way, which is held in by one 10 millimeter bolt. So don't try just yanking this up. You'll never get it unless you get that bolt. So taking the battery out helps as well. So anyway, let me swap this out real quick. We'll put it back together and see if she comes back to life. Okay, last one. And you are gone, bad fusible link. You're gone. See ya. All right, our new fuse block is installed. We can take the blue tape off, and our battery tray is going back in, along with our AC Delco battery. It's a brand new battery we got in the last video. And, oh, did you guys notice? Hang on. I'm about to short this thing out. Just kidding. Just kidding. It's gotta go this way. All right, positive to positive, right? Is that a plus sign? Yes, I'm a little freaked out about this now. All right, so that is our positive. That's our negative. Okay, we're good. Basics, basics. Let's tighten these guys up. Just like that. Oh, look, I found the little positive cover. Nice. All right, cool. We're good, we're good. Let's see if this works. So exciting. How do I turn this off? Okay, here we go. Let's see if this handle works now. It didn't before. Oh, nice. It works. Will this unlock it? Yes, none of that worked before. Oh, this is a good sign. And moment of truth, moment of truth. What do we got here? What do we got? We have a lot less lights. And we have power steering. And we have our climate, our clock, our radio, our sunroof. And let's see, we got a window? Yes, we do, of course. All right, so we have check engine light and VCS light. And I'm just curious here if this needs a steering sensor reset. Sometimes cars need that for that to go away. And no, nothing. Oh, you know what else didn't work last time? The throttle. Let's see. Oh, we still don't have any throttle. And I think that has to do with the whole VCS light thing. So we definitely still have some issues here. But we can go into gear, shift P range, okay. Yeah, and we are good. Oh, you know what? Let's check battery voltage. Okay, so before the alternator was not charging at all. Let's see what we got now. 14 volts, perfect. So this fixed the charging issue as well. Before it would just be at whatever the battery was giving us. So that is great, that's awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and continue to check over fuses to make sure it didn't blow something else. And maybe that's why the VCS or VSC or whatever that light's called is on. And maybe we can get our throttle back, who knows? Okay, so I did find a blown 10 amp fuse for the throttle control, and we have throttle actuator codes, of course. So we're gonna erase everything, blow everything out of the system, start it back up, and see what trips again. Because with the fusible link blown, it could have just set a bunch of codes. Let's see what we got here. The VSC is technically passing right now. EV engine control system malfunction current. All right, so it gives me a nice little description here talking about the skid control ECU sets the DTC, and the skid control ECU prohibits traction and VSC control. Okay, we have the check engine light on as well. ECM, wow, this is not good. Is this a bad computer? Is this a bad engine computer? I actually have throttle now. So that's all good, and I was able to plug in the stop lamp switch, and that functions properly now, which makes sense. Who knows what circuit was open with the open in the main fusible link. So we have throttle, we have a functioning stop lamp switch, and now we have more codes, which is actually a good thing in this case. So we have a cylinder 2 misfire. It's running pretty smooth to me, but this fuel is pretty old and these do have direct injection. So it's possible I need to clean up the intake valves. I'm not really too concerned about that, but we're still getting this P0606. And in doing some research, it is rarely the engine's computer, and sometimes it can be a bad O2 sensor on Toyotas can cause the VSC light to come on. And if we go here to actual values, we can see bank 1 sensor 2, so the rear O2 sensor is fluctuating, it's reading 0.1 and it'll go up to 0.9, and that's totally normal. And this one here, no matter what we do, it's at 1.27 volts, which doesn't really make any sense other than it's bad. So at this point, I think it makes sense for us to replace that bank 2 sensor to rear O2 sensor. So that doesn't affect how the car runs. That just monitors the catalytic converters. And from what I'm reading in the world of Toyota, if you have a hard fault, if the circuit, if that sensor is totally bad, then it'll just automatically throw this light up and cause all sorts of issues. So an O2 sensor could fix it. We're gonna find out. But before we replace this $119 sensor, I wanna get to the connector first, do my due diligence, make sure there's nothing wrong with the connection. We're gonna have to get to it anyway. And unfortunately, the connector is under the carpet on the driver's side, so we have to take up a bunch of trim. All right, wow, this is new. These clips didn't break. I'm used to pretty much all the clips breaking on the cars I work on, so Toyota quality, I guess. And we have a blue light. Blue light under that little plastic sill. That makes 0 sense at all. All right, gotta get rid of those. That could be our whole issue right there. So this actually wasn't too bad. We had to remove the fake pedal right here, and then the carpet pretty much just popped up really easily. And here is our connector. So let's just take a look. I want to make sure that no one spilled coffee inside of this thing, and it looks really, really clean, really nice. So yeah, don't suspect any issue with the connection here. But next, I really just want to get this car out on the road. It's been sitting for over a year. I want to warm it up. I just want to get it to go through some of its test cycles. Sometimes cars that have been abandoned for a long time can do really funky things from sitting. So I'm gonna go for a ride. We're gonna see if this thing shifts. So before we put any real money into it, we'll make sure the transmission is good and there's no other major issues that would prevent me from wanting to go any further with this. And then we'll blow the codes out and see what comes back. So let's go for our first drive. So the brake pads are actually in pretty good shape, but from sitting, the rotors are a little rusted. And here is the driver's side. So on our first trip, let's see if we can clean these up and save us a little bit of money on not having to replace the brakes. Not sure if I'll be able to get away with anything in the rear, but what a shame. The pads are brand new. They must have just done the pads and rotors right before letting it sit. Okay, so I just blew all of the engine codes out. And so we just keep on getting the 606 code, and we have really reduced the number of lights here. So we still have the check vehicle stability control light and check engine light, but this thing revs up real nice. Runs great. Shifts into gear. Power steering works. And we're gonna see if this thing will shift into second. How many times have we done this, guys? The maiden voyage of making sure that the transmission shifts. I buy a lot of old broken cars, don't I? All right, here we go. Oh, we have paddles too, cool. Okay, here we go. Oh, I think it already shifted. Yep, there we go. I believe we're in third. Come on, fourth. Done, perfect, like butter. Very nice, there we go. I don't know how many gears this thing has, but it shifts, and I left the hood open. Hang on. Man, this thing runs good. Okay, here we go. This is like almost half throttle, not bad. All right, cool. Oh, I can hear these brakes. Oh yeah, it's grinding the rust away as we speak. We're gonna have to do a bunch of those. Oh, this car is nice, guys. This thing is sweet. That's like half throttle, I'm not going too crazy here. Engine is coming up to temperature. And let's slam on some brakes. Well, let's do that again. I don't think the steering wheel was vibrating that much. I'm telling you, I think they just did a brake job on this thing and then let it sit. I could find out. Cruising along at 60, steering wheel is good. Alignment is really good. Let's slam on it. Not going too crazy here. Wow, yeah, nothing, no pulsation. We might be able to clean up these brakes. Okay, we're all warmed up. A little hole shot. Very nice. Not the fastest car in the world, but it runs and drives beautifully, and that's all we need out of it. And check it out, we did get that oxygen sensor, bank 2, sensor 2. Let's take a look and see if actual values is the same. Okay, we're getting a temperature reading from both of those sensors. Okay, so that part of the circuit is okay. Target air fuel 1 lambda, that equals 14.7 to 1, that's good. Misfire counter 0, and we've been on the road for about 20 minutes or so. That's a great sign too. So I haven't looked up the spec yet, but bank 2 sensor 2, look at the difference in the ohms reading compared to bank 1 sensor 2 that isn't throwing a code. So big difference. This is pretty much frozen right at about 445 to 450. Well, it's not frozen at 1.27 anymore, so that's a good sign. This is actually a normal reading now. Hang on, let's try something here. Let's disconnect this thing. It goes down to 0.01 if we disconnect it. And impedance maxes out at 21,000. And this one's going kind of crazy too. Okay. So after looking at the live data, the ohms may be within spec and the voltage has sort of fixed itself. And when you have modern cars that sit for a long time, the O2 sensors can do a lot of funky things. They get moisture in them and they can act up, especially in the beginning. So it's always a good idea to drive the car, you know, if you can, for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that, to really get everything heated up properly so it can take proper measurements. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. I know the code came back, but now that I see that good voltage, I'm going to clear the code out. I'm going to go for another ride. We'll kind of just see what happens. I don't want to be cheap on an O2 sensor, but it could just be okay. So anyway, let's clear codes, start her back up, see what happens. Okay, so I've cleared everything out. And let's fire it up. And what's nice with this issue is that we always get these lights on right away. And we don't. We don't get the lights on right away. Are you crazy? What? What? No way. Sweet. Outside temperature 73. We got nothing. I don't want to jinx myself. Okay, guys, I really was not expecting this to go that well. I was just planning on driving to go get a sensor. I actually already called and it's like coming in about 2 hours. But I will take this. We're gonna go for a ride. I got some time anyway, and we'll see what happens. But look at this, nothing. We had like 8 lights in the beginning of the video, and we are down to 0. And this thing is just sweet. This is a nice ride. Hey, there's another Lexus, look at that. Woohoo! Ah, just went over some train tracks. Oh, we got the lights back on. We hit the train tracks and the lights are back. No! All right. We might not be able to get away with a totally free fix in this case, but let's scan it, see what we got back. I'm gonna venture to say it's that O2 sensor code though. All right, so let's read codes, basically refreshing right now. Oxygen sensor. And then I think that's what's bringing all these other ones up. So, all right, let's go get an O2 sensor. While I wait for the O2 sensor to come in, I stopped to take a thumbnail picture. And I just want to show you guys how nicely these brakes have cleaned up. Look at these rotors. This is just after maybe like 4 or 5 miles. Looking really nice. The rear is going to take a little bit more time, but considering these rotors have no ridge on them at all and the pads look brand new, I think we're going to be okay. There's no pulsation from the steering wheel either. And something else, I cleared the code out just for fun. And I think I've driven 3 miles since clearing the code. I've gone wide open throttle a bunch of times. Nothing's coming back at all. Now I'm still gonna replace the O2 sensor because again, I'm giving this car away and I don't wanna give away a bad car, and we can tell that that rear O2 sensor is at the very least on its way out. So I'm gonna drop the Lexus off at the shop, head over to the parts store, pick up the O2 sensor and a few other goodies for this car because it's being so good to us. And here is the O2 sensor in question, and your first step when doing one of these, well, is to let the engine cool off and the exhaust cool off, but then spray it with some penetrating oil and let it soak for about 5 minutes. That's gonna help out a lot so you don't end up breaking things. And while we're under here, let's do our first on-lift car inspection at the Legit Street Quarters. So you guys are gonna notice, if you're from an area where they don't use rock salt, like the South, that we get some rust here, all right? So not seeing anything structural. This is all surface rust. It's gonna be on all of these little brackets and whatnot. Oh my God, look at this thing. It's toast. It's totally fine. It's just a different color than what you might be used to. And no leaks, that's a good thing. And let's take a look here. The boots are in excellent condition as well. And we have a leak here though. This actually left a little bit of oil on the ground. I wasn't sure. I thought it was maybe a brake line that had blew. I cleaned it up, but there was a big puddle, and look at this. The whole strut is blown out and leaking. And I'm gonna venture to say that these struts are totally original. This one seems to be in good shape. Here is our transmission, bone dry. Lots of cobwebs everywhere, but no leaks at all from the transmission. It still has factory catalytic converters, which is good. And let's see, this strut here, it's weeping a little bit. We could probably leave that. This one is bone dry. And let's see, nothing from the oil pan, nothing from the engine. I mean, this thing has no leaks. I mean, nothing at all. Look at this. Wow, that is really impressive. 114,000 miles and not leaking anything. So these bushings look to be in excellent condition. So do these. Right off the bat, I don't feel any play in the joints. I didn't feel anything when we drove it. The sway bar links look to be in good shape as well. So the steering and suspension on this car seems to be in great condition. The alignment is perfect. We'll have to do something about this here. Maybe a couple clips. The tires are totally shot, and these wheels are plasti dipped, by the way. So not doing the best job right now, but we should be able to get all of this off without any issue. That's gonna look a million times better. But yeah, at first glance, it has a little bit of rust, which is to be expected for a Chicago car that is now about 15 years old. And no leaks. The steering and suspension look to be in good shape outside of the shocks. So with that, let's hope we don't break the exhaust off. In order to replace these O2 sensors, you need a socket like this. So this isn't the really common one that you're thinking of. It's a little bit deeper to go into that little shield area, just like that. And let's hope for the best here. Oh, not coming. Come on, baby. Oh, jeez. No. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. We got it. It didn't break. Yes. Success, great success. All right, so I fed the wiring through the top. So this is our old one. She's out. Brand new one going in. All right, not too much. Click, click, click. We're good. All right, I'll go plug that in. And the O2 sensor issue should be good. We'll go for a test drive, of course. But first, let's treat the Lexus. It's been treating us really well, so before we even verify that this is fixed, I'm gonna give it a few gifts. All right, it looks like Lexus also uses about 10 screws to hold in panels. I think that's the last one. This is nasty. Oh, come on. Oh, this is gross. Okay. Okay, don't ruin my shop floor. Nasty. Woo! Woo! Cleaning this is my first gift to the Lexus. Well, outside of, you know, fixing like 8 warning lights on the cluster. But this is nasty. There were things living in here, for sure. And I'm really surprised that I didn't find any wires chewed through or really anything chewed through at all. Well, I haven't found any dead bodies yet. That's a plus. Ooh. Well, I didn't exactly detail anything, but this looks much better than it did before. And now we are moving on to our next gift, and that is a fresh oil change. And I'm doing this on the ground because I haven't gotten my big oil drains yet. And I think I'm probably gonna spill this all over the ground. You guys wanna watch? Yeah, let's see. Okay. Yep, got some on the ground. Didn't really set that up in the path of the oil, but that is okay. Yeah, this thing holds a ton of oil. This is crazy. It's like 7 quarts for this little 6-cylinder. And I just realized that this is the oil filter housing. So this is a cartridge style, and we need to remove this little cap. So I'm hoping I have something to do that with. All right, this is what the world has come to. A gigantic breaker bar to get the oil filter housing apart. My little ratchet wouldn't do it, so here we are. We're gonna use some leverage, and hopefully this doesn't break anything. Come on. Oh, okay. Whew. Oh man, I thought we were in trouble there. We are good. One day I will have oil drains in this shop. I emptied this, by the way. I'm not just that strong. Let's see, how much are we gonna get? Okay, not bad. Wow, this thing really needed an oil change. This is pretty gross. It's probably been a couple of years at this point. And you guys know that every car I buy that I like, I treat with a complete service from Amsoil. So we have the synthetic oil change with a good Wicks filter. We're gonna swap out the rear differential fluid as well. And even though this is direct injected, I'm gonna use some of this in the gas tank, should clean up some of the carbon on the pistons. And I'm not sponsored by Amsoil. I buy all this stuff myself, but I am a dealer. So if you guys want 25% off, I'll leave a link down below. You can sign up as one of my preferred customers. And I consider Amsoil fluids to be the best in the business, so I run them on my entire fleet. Next, we're gonna swap out the differential fluid because we have no leaks. This is a perfect candidate for a nice service, and we can see a date code here of May 2006, so it looks to be the original differential. And you always want to open up the fill plug before the drain plug, not only so it drains out quicker, but also to see if this thing even opens, because you don't want to run into a situation where you've drained all your oil, that is frozen solid, and then your car is dead in the water. Okay, here we go. Not bad. Wow, that was easy actually. See, this is just surface rust, people. Just looks bad. All right, so we got that. Okay, so we'll take the fill off. We'll screw the fill plug out, and let's see what we got here. This stuff always smells nasty. Ooh, that looks nice. Wow. This must have been done kind of recently. That looks really good. This could also be an open differential where it doesn't get that dirty. Not really sure. If you guys know down below, let me know. Wow, that looks brand new though. These easy packs for the differential and transmission fluid are awesome. No longer do you need a transfer pump or a big mess. You literally just squeeze it in there and you're good to go. All right, so on number 2, I got the drain plug nearby. As soon as it starts coming out, we know our level is good. Here it comes, here it comes. So you need about 1.5 of these. Oh, almost dropped it. Okay, we're good. Not too big of a mess there. All right, the last quart of oil. There we go. Okay. Oil change is done. And hood struts are on order. Vice grips work really well though. There we go. All right, we'll add a little bit of this to the gas tank. And guys, fuel injection cleaner and products like this, you don't necessarily need this stuff if you're running good gas. But if you have old gas, this couldn't hurt. If the car's been sitting around for a while, it couldn't hurt. And if you're running cheap gas, it couldn't hurt. And it's one of those things where, you know, it's less than 10 bucks, so why not? Anyway, so there's that. This is gross. Cannot wait to detail this car. Just stuff everywhere. Nasty. Last but not least in the gift department in this video would be new wipers. Lexus has been good to us, so it's getting fresh blades, and these are pretty much gone. I don't even know what these could possibly have been doing. Yeah. Okay, these are breaking apart on me. Done. The interior is back together. I got rid of the blue lights as well. And let's see what we have here. Hopefully no lights at all. Check complete. Oh, oil maintenance. No, I forgot about that. Okay, hang on. Let me look up how to do this. Okay, so I guess we hold this and then press the starter button and hold it. And, okay, yeah, those little dots will go away. Bam. That should be it. Let's see. Yes, no lights. We've fixed all the lights, and for a grand total of $211, and that's paying full retail. I didn't get any discount on anything, so really all that was the oxygen sensor for $116 and the fusible link for $95. $211, W211. The chassis of the E55. That's basically what started my channel. Is that a sign, or is the E55 mad that it's not the first car I work on here on the rack and the lift? I don't know, but either way, 211 bucks, not bad. That'd be like 1 hour of diagnosis at the dealer, and we have no lights on the dash at all. So with that, let's go for another ride, make sure everything is A-okay, and then I'll tell you guys what we're gonna be doing to the Lexus in the next couple videos. All right, here we go from a dig. Ooh, it chirped him. That was cute. I love the shift light when you're in full auto mode. That's 60. Perfect. Wow, I gotta say, even with the blown out shock in the rear, it rides really nice. Doesn't overheat, all the gauges work, all this stuff works, although the AC needs a charge. Let's see, do these paddle shifter dealies work? Let's see. Oh yeah, they do. Nice. Sunroof works, windows work, everything works. The stereo sounds really good for a stock stereo. I'm having a blast. It's a beautiful day. It's 82 degrees out. This thing is running like a champ, and it's gonna make an awesome, awesome car for someone. So, what do I have planned for the Lexus? Well, now that we know that it's in great mechanical condition, and we're gonna make it even better in the next video with some struts and a belt and a bunch of other work that we're gonna do to make this really tip-top. But now that I know that it's got good bones, so to speak, it's going to the body shop. We're gonna fix up the rust. We're gonna paint the front and rear bumpers. We're gonna detail it. The guys from Chicago Auto Pros are in. Ooh, that is loud, hang on. Well, I spoke too soon. The sunroof will not close. It's reaching some kind of limit. I've tried helping it along the way, but it just won't go. So I'll probably have to fix that in the next video, no big deal. And like I was saying, I have Chicago Auto Pros on board for the interior and exterior detail of the Lexus, and we're gonna be doing it here at Legit Street Quarters right over there in the wash/detail bay. I put a cabinet right there. It's gonna be filled with detail stuff. We have some drain tile coming in. We have a pressure washer that's gonna be hanging on the wall, and Jason is gonna come by and we're gonna do this together. And I'm really excited for the interior because it's not at the point of no return, but it's pretty nasty, and I think it's gonna show well on camera how clean we can get this. And then of course, after all of the body work is done, we will do a full exterior detail as well. I have ordered new tires. I have all the mechanical parts on order, including all of the struts. We have a belt, spark plugs. We're gonna clean intake valves. We are going to remove the plasti dip. We're gonna polish out and possibly replace the headlights. I just noticed This is broken on the inside. So yeah, we're gonna fix up a lot. And after all the work, I'll be giving the Lexus away to someone in need. And if you guys wanna see a video of me doing just that, then check out last Christmas's Lincoln giveaway video. I'll link it down below. It was a ton of fun. And after making that one, I'm like, you know what? We're gonna make this a regular thing. Finding good used cars that need a little bit of love, making them really good used cars, and then finding someone that could really need it. So anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this Lexus series. And if you did, give it a big thumbs up, share the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and most importantly, have an awesome day. I'll catch all of you in the next video.